Hello, how are you? I'm Nikita.
I'm Will.
And this is the Say How You Feel podcast. The Say How You Feel podcast assists budding entrepreneurs get clear about what they need to do to be successful on their journey. Today, we are going to be interviewing event coordinator extraordinaire and philanthropist Tiffany Draper. But before I tell you a little bit about her, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Allow Say How You Feel to take your logo to new heights. Whether you need t-shirts, mugs, tumblers, or pens, we can assist you with your custom needs. Contact us at 615-839-0788 or sayhowyoufeel@gmail.com. And we're back. Our guest today again is Tiffany Draper. She is gifted with developing seamless and impactful events that bring communities together to cultivate empowering relationships. With her background as a corporate event planner and strategist, Tiffany worked with the City of Huntsville for over 15 years. Notably, Tiffany has hosted the Women's Expo Huntsville for the past 3 years that brings over 3,000 people together annually to shop with small businesses and gain personal development education, all in a fun and entertaining environment. A native of Huntsville, Alabama, Tiffany enjoys connecting with family and friends as much as she can. She's a dedicated mother of two boys and a supportive daughter. But in her spare time, she likes helping others in need. Without further ado, I introduce to you Tiffany Draper.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you
I
for
hope
having
that you're
me.
doing well. No, thank you. Thank you for being on. So I'm not going to delay. We're going to jump right in. So I want you to tell us how you began in the event coordinator space.
So it's really a funny story because I was actually kind of thrust into it at the city of Huntsville. I was doing marketing and planning at my job and never knew how to get people together. And my boss was like, "This is what you're going to do. This is your assignment." And I was like, "That's it?" She was like, "Yeah, that's it." Like, no real plan or anything. So I was actually kind of forced into it. And then it just became a career.
Oh, wow. That is cool. So what did you do? The particular assignment that you had that your boss gave you, what did you do to prepare for that? And are you still doing some of those things that you did at that time now for the events that you do?
Right. So I really didn't have a lot of time to prepare for what she asked me to do. She just said, "We have a health and marketing wellness fair every year for our employees. And you got to call these people and tell them to come out and be vendors."
Mm-hmm.
And everything that I started doing 15 years ago is the same thing that I do now. It's just better.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just kind of got better at it. I started applying,
Mm-hmm.
researching, visiting other cities, visiting other events and stuff that were happening. And I
Mm-hmm.
just said, you know what, I could be on to something. This sounds like fun. It sounds like it could, one, make me money, and two, is a way to build business relationships. And so I just kind of took it from there.
Okay, so that leads me to my next question. What advice do you have for someone that wants to start their own event coordination business? And when did you know, like you said, that it was something that was fun and you enjoyed it and you can make money at it? But
Right,
when did
right.
you know this is exactly what I wanted to do? Because it sounds like you had a corporate job.
I did.
Look,
I
with good
did.
benefits,
I did, girl. I did. I miss
with
those
a
benefits.
401k,
I
right?
did all
So,
that.
right. So when did you know, okay, it's time for me to just step out and this is the thing that I'm going to do?
When it started taking over, interfering with my full time job, right? When I couldn't sleep at night, when all I could think about was events and making it happen, and my mind just was so engulfed with what was the next best great event, or things that
Mm,
could
mhm,
happen or what I could plan. I was like, God, what's next? Like what? You won't let me rest. You won't let me sleep. Every time I turn around, I'm planning an event. Like I can't do both. And so for a
Mm-hmm.
while, I wrestled with back and forth. And God had already given me the okay to leave a couple of years ago. I just didn't think I could do it. And here we are now. I retired June 8th of 2023. My anniversary is tomorrow, actually, June
Oh
9th of
wow!
2024, that
Happy
I'll be in a,
anniversary.
thank you, one official 1 year anniversary of being a full-time entrepreneur. And when I tell
Okay.
you that I don't know how I've made it, like God has actually, I'm telling you, this is unbelievable to me because I would have never thought that I could do this. And so here we are.
Mm.
So,
So did you start out? So you started with the one that you did for your employer. Did you
right.
immediately go into corporate event coordinating space, or did you start off with like the weddings, the birthday parties, or
Right.
did you just head full on into
No.
the lane you were in?
Right. So what the first thing I did was I started planning events of my own, like birthday parties, brunches, little
Hmm.
gatherings, paint parties. And then I opened
Hmm.
up an event center called Studio
Okay.
53. And
Okay.
so then I started planning other people's event inside of my event center. And so
Mm.
then other people started seeing me hosting and having events for other people. And they were like, do you do this for other people? And I'm like, I can. And so then I got into the corporate training and planning for other events like in the city of Huntsville and
Okay.
other people's family reunions and then it just kind of like blew up into something more. And so all I do is plan events now. It is stressful, but I think I like the stressful part of it on this side because I can do it on my own terms, not when someone's
Hmm.
telling me to.
Right, right. And you can have your own creativity in it and not what
Right.
just doing what it is they want to do. And so it's very interesting because I was going to ask this, but I didn't write it down. But I guess I should have because I think I kind of knew it. Is
Yeah.
that about the event space?
Hmm.
That was totally like smart to
It
do that,
was,
right?
right?
It was right to have because that's what I was going to ask you. Do you plan on getting an event space, but you already have one? Because that was the reason why it's smart. And
I do.
I think sometimes people they'll talk themselves out of doing things before they get started. But the reason why that was so smart is because you were able to show what you could do, and then you had even if that didn't work out and it was slow, you could rent it out,
That's
right?
right.
You
And
always
that's what I
have
do.
something to have that when times are slow or okay, maybe this is not the way I need to go, but I still got this right here to rent out for how much,
That's right.
$500 for 2 hours or whatever,
That's
But
exactly how it went. Right.
right. So that was so smart. And I think that is like a really good nugget for people to know, especially if they're in this event coordination space, because it's not, people always want to say that there's some industries or there's some spaces that are saturated. They're not saturated. You just have to find your niche and you have
That's
to
right.
find your audience.
That's
So
right.
you were able to do that. How do you mentioned something about doing trainings, I think you said event
Yeah.
coordination
Uh-huh.
trainings for the city of Huntsville. How did
Right.
that come about? How did you put yourself out there to let them know that you were available to do that?
Um, I think mostly it's been word of mouth, but I post myself this year is I've been really intentional about branding myself, right? So
Hmm.
on top of the businesses that I own, a lot of people didn't know who was behind the events. And so that's when I
Okay.
started branding myself, And so there is the Tiffany Draper brand coordinated events. And there's
Hmm.
also the Women's Expo Huntsville Studio 53. And now I just recently started a nonprofit, She Can Grow. And so, but everybody wanted to know who's behind all these big events, right? And so
Hmm.
I just started putting myself out there, and normally all of my referrals clients are referral based, right?
Okay.
But I don't really have to go out there and just kind of like market. Now I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook,
Hmm.
Instagram, stuff like that. I don't send any like mass marketing emails to people like saying, hey, you should choose me. I just kind of put
Hmm.
myself out there and put myself in these different rooms when I'm networking and I teach classes. And so people are like, hey, can you plan my birthday party? And I'm like, of course. So,
Okay. So you teach others how to do the event coordination, how to get into that
yes,
space and
I
do the
actually
things.
had a
Okay.
class last weekend, June 1st, And we talked about the do's and don'ts, what to do, how to do. That class is, I'm hosting another online version of that on June 20th. But I say all that to say that, the information is so much, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's information is going to be so different. But I
Mm-hmm.
have nuggets and gems that I can give people who are looking to be an event planner, coordinator, which is totally different from being an event designer, right? They're two different things. And I think people don't understand that part.
I'm glad you said that because that's what I was about to ask you next. There's as the event coordinator,
Right.
and you mentioned it's a difference between the coordinator and the designer. Do you mind sharing what that difference is between the two?
Yeah. And so an event coordinator is going to run interference. I'm quarterbacking the team, right? Let's just put it
Okay.
in those terms. So I got full control of how I spread this whole play out, how we going to run the play. An event designer is someone who comes in and they're usually under the event strategist, the host, the planner,
Okay.
coordinator, because they're going to tell them, hey, you're here for event design. This is what you need to do. This is what, I'm running the plays as the event coordinator. The event designer is just going to come in and decorate, make sure that tablecloths on the table, make sure that the place is designed properly, or a decorator.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then you have people like DJs, balloon people, people who come in and set up like streaming like lights, or
Mm-hmm.
videographers, photographers. Those all fall underneath an event coordinator, event planner, designer, decorator. All those different things would be, important
Mm-hmm.
parts too, but they're totally different, because the event decorator is just coming in to decorate or just design your layout.
Okay, okay. That thank you for that. I
You're
think, and
welcome.
because I think that will help people be able to differentiate between the two so they know which lane they need to go in.
That's
Uh
right.
and not be intimidated by, oh my gosh, that means I gotta learn how to do the balloons and I gotta be able
Because
to color coordinate and all that. No.
I don't
So
want to do that. That ain't my thing.
that's not your ministry. So
I'm telling you. The
if
headache.
that's not right, so if that's not your gift, that maybe what you're being led to do, or what you could go into, is event coordination. And before we uh I want to go ahead and put this out there so I can remember. We've got to get your information for the next for the virtual training that you're going to do, so we can put it in the description,
Okay,
so
very
people can
good.
be able to sign up for that. How do you see your business growing, and what are you doing to prepare for the growth of your business?
Um, I'm praying. I
Mm-hmm.
am constantly seeking God for
Mm-hmm.
answers. I know that I didn't come this far by myself. It has been a definitely a faith walk. It has been an interesting journey of ups and downs, highs and lows, ebbs and flows, and you just got to either roll with the punches,
Mm-hmm.
or be like, all right, God, I'm here, and I'm just waiting on you to put all the pieces together. So I see the trajectory of all of my businesses being so full and so plentiful. The goal for me, yes, is to be able to take care of my kids and to pay my mortgage every month, right? But the
Mm-hmm.
ultimate goal is for me to please God, whatever that looks
Mm-hmm.
like. And so I'm just really just trying to keep myself grounded, make sure that I'm in the right rooms, and make sure that I am around people who want to see me grow. That's the main thing. It's just making sure that I got good, solid people in my life who want to see me win just as bad as I want to see me win. But I'm very intentional about the rooms that I speak in, the rooms that I go in, because your association with people matters, right? And my
Mm-hmm.
association with God definitely matters. So I just want to make sure that I am listening,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm able to hear from God, and that I'm not able to just hear from myself. Like, okay, I know I want to build this big 10,000 square foot facility, right? Well, where the money
Mm-hmm.
gonna come from, right? And
Right. Right.
so I know that when it's time for me to go to that next level, it'll already be provision, for me to get
Mm-hmm.
there. So
Okay. Um, so you said, like, your dream, your goal, your vision is the facility. So are you preparing for that? Like, have you what is it, Habakkuk? I cannot pronounce that. I think it's Habakkuk.
in the Bible, yeah, write the vision,
The
make it plain.
right, yeah. So have you written it out? Have you written out what you envision it to be, what the purpose of it is going to be, and all the things? Like, do you plan like that? So when it comes into fruition, it's there. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you
yeah.
got it. Yeah.
I've written it down so many times, but I'm gonna go back to the drawing board now that you said that, and because I'm gonna write it down again because now I do want a 10,000 square foot facility, but now I want it to be like more 25,000 because
Mm-hmm.
I see rooms. I
Right,
see
right, right.
like a big facility that houses not only one event, but like maybe 10 or 15 events. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
want to be able to be all encompassing. So to answer your question in short, yes and no. I have written
Mm-hmm.
it down, but I got to go
Mm-hmm.
back and make some adjustments. So,
And then, so with that, how important do you think it is for entrepreneurs to do that, right? To write down the vision that they have for their business. You know, it's not just the why, but where do you see it going and how do you see it flourishing? What's the big thing, right? Because the thing is, you know, the big thing that we have for ourselves, God has something totally bigger for us. So how important do you
that's right.
think it is for entrepreneurs to do that so they can have um, that thing in front of them that that goal that they're going toward?
So I always tell people and entrepreneurs, like when I talk to them, you got to have a purpose, right? And you got to
Hmm.
have a plan. And you got to make sure that it makes sense, right? A lot of people think that people just wake up with great ideas. Yeah, and that very well may be true. But a great idea starts when you put pen to paper. A great
Hmm.
idea when it starts when you make a plan. And as soon as you write that thing down, baby, you got to believe that's going to happen. You know, it's
Hmm.
there. It's in black and white. It's clear for you. I tell entrepreneurs all the time that we can all have a great plan, but how you activate that plan, how you get to the next level, there's a process. You know,
Hmm.
you don't just wake up and be rich. There is a plan. There is a plan. And some people do have that luxury. I don't. And I can
Right.
only speak out of the vein of that's not what I had. I had to write it down and make it plain. It had to make sense to me. And every
Hmm.
time I saw something that didn't make sense to me, I had to go back and be like, all right, that didn't make sense. Let me go back and see if this will work. That sounds better. And sometimes that's not always the plan. God may say, hey, you know, we're going to go over this hill and over this valley and through this river and across the woods. When all of a sudden, I thought I was just going to go down just this straight path. And he was like, no, we're going to go through some things first. And so I think that when you put it together in your mind, it also needs to be a plan involved too, which is why businesses need business plans. They need structure. They need a SWOT analysis. They need all these different financials because I don't think people look at the money. They don't look at the finances. They don't look at what if. And there needs to be room left for error. You know, like you need a plan
Hmm.
B, C, D, F, and G, you know, if that's the case,
Right.
because so many things could go wrong. So,
Hmm. So you mentioned about having the SWOT analysis, which let me see, I can't remember what look what it all stands for, but I know what it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Don't ask me. I just
So,
know it's in my
right,
business plan.
right, right. So, did you create those things for yourself? Did you get help? Do you have a CPA? When did you know it was time to bring someone else in? Not even necessarily to help you with the event coordination, but just the behind the scenes things in your business, the stuff that we don't like to do. Because we could do the other stuff all day long because that's our
That's
passion.
right.
And we got
Right.
fired for that, but it's the other stuff.
Yeah. I knew that it was time when there were certain questions and things that I couldn't answer.
Okay.
I knew that I needed a CPA, someone to handle all these accounts. When you got money coming in from everywhere and you don't know where to put it, you know,
Hmm.
I needed a separate business account for all the different businesses. They don't go together. There's a certain thing called commingling of funds. You don't
Hmm.
want that. You know what I'm saying? Like if something
Hmm.
ever happens with my event center, and God forbid, you know, knock on wood,
Hmm.
and if someone tries to sue me and I'm taking money out of the same bank account to, you know, take care of my home, that is the same as like my studio. And that could be seen as commingling of funds, right?
Hmm.
And that means that, hey, there is a certain rule that's in effect at that point in time where people can sue you. It may be a LLC, but I can still sue you because you use this account as if it's your personal account. So we have to be very careful. And so when we started getting to different terms like that, suing lawsuits and insurance, and I was like, wait. I need somebody to come in here and tell me what to do, how to do, because I don't want to lose everything that I've built, right? So it's
Right.
important that we get people like CPAs and attorneys and insurance companies and what covers what, general liability insurance. I pay a lot of insurance every year when it comes to me hosting the Women's Expo, because anything can happen. Someone can get sick, somebody could come in there and slip
Mm-hmm.
and fall, and that's on my business at the end of the day, right? So
So that's all that is so important. Figuring out what those things, those behind the scenes things that you need based on what your business is, the insurance, getting a lawyer, all the things, because at some point in time you're going to need all of that eventually for your business,
that's
depending on
right.
what
That's
you're doing.
right.
So it's important to even if you don't have to do it at the beginning, but at least having it in the back of your mind or writing it down. Eventually, I'm going to need da 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 X, Y, and Z, so that when it comes to that point, you're not surprised by it, and having the finances to be able to do it, which means you had to put research into it to figure out, okay, when I get
That's
to this
right.
point, how much is it going to be? Which is okay to call people and say, hey,
That's right. That's right. That's right.
now, but
That's right.
what's your hourly fee?
I'm telling
So,
you, because I need help.
right, because I know I'm gonna need some help eventually. I just want to go ahead and have it in my head to figure it out. So you've won some awards.
Right.
So you've won the Heart of Service Award from the Dare to Dream organization. You've won NAACP Small Minority Business of the Year for the state of Alabama. Congratulations on that. And a National Coalition of 100 Black Women
Thank
honoree.
you.
Totally awesome. Congratulations. So I wanted to ask you, shift gears a little bit
Thank you.
about your philanthropy. Um, when when did you
Mhm.
know that was something you wanted to do? Is it an outpouring from the business, or is it something that just was always in you? You wanted to do it, and the time is now for it.
My grandmother worked at a nonprofit organization here in Huntsville called Christmas Charities, and I would go to work with her in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
And I would watch my grandmother children, or in less fortunate situations. They would give them food. They would dress them for school, or just dress them for clothes, shoes,
Mm-hmm.
clothes, bed, uh, housing things.
Mm-hmm.
And so it became apparent to me that I love being around that, because it also showed me that we're no better than anybody else. That could be our situation. And my grandma was an avid thrifter. My mom is. I still am. We like to go and, Salvation Army, Goodwill, different places, thrift stores. And we find luxury finds, and doing, and just kind of thrifting.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it became something for me that I wanted to do to give back, because I know that I haven't always been so fortunate, right? I haven't always been able to go down to the mall and buy me a new pair of shoes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so knowing that in my situation, I was a single mom. I got pregnant when I was 19. I went to Alabama A&M, and I was on the band as a dance team member,
Okay.
and I found myself pregnant. And me and my son, we needed a lot of different things and resources and stuff, and they weren't available to us. And so I knew that I wanted to be able to give back, because my heart was bigger than my bank account was. And I was like, how am I going to
Mm-hmm.
do this and do it the right way? So I've always been in my community. I've always been a philanthropist. I've always been out here trying to give back to the community. I just did not have a nonprofit to show for it. And
Okay.
so as of May 1st of this year, I have established the, official nonprofit 501c3 status. And, I'm going to make sure that I can acquire the funds to continue to make my work here in Huntsville be that of the people. It's for the
Mm-hmm.
people, for women ages 18 to 55 who are underrepresented, who may need help with utilities or rent or gas assistance, or I don't know, anything that medical. Anybody who wants to go back to school to take up a trade, or they need money for their tuition, they don't have it, for this
Mm-hmm.
particular semester, or childcare, whatever the case may be. We want to be able to help those women, because typically women between that age range, I feel, get left out,
Mm-hmm.
because you're above age. of the 18, and people feel like you should just have it together. And sometimes that's not always the case. So,
Right.
so that's why I wanted to be able to help people and give back. So,
Congratulations on your nonprofit because it is hard getting the 501c3 status.
yeah.
That is not an easy feat. So totally
Yeah.
congratulations. That is so totally awesome. So
No. And I had help. I can't get all the credit. So,
yes, yeah, help in that area. Yes, I totally understand. But you were able to get it. That's the important thing. You were able to get it and start your nonprofit. And what is the name of your nonprofit again?
it's called She Can Grow.
She can grow. Okay. We're going to come back around to that because I want you to provide information on that as well. So, if you had one
Okay.
chance to impart wisdom to a new entrepreneur, what would you say?
I would say to that person, hey, things are going to happen, but you can't give up. You got to be able to be consistent as well as being persistent. Don't let anybody talk you out of your dreams. If this is something that God has purposed you with, I would tell you to keep going and don't give up until you get there. If God made you promises and you know that this is part of that promise, then you can't quit. So just keep going.
That is awesome and so, so important because we get so discouraged um, when we're on this journey, we get discouraged and we want to give
Hmm.
up. But we have to remember what our why is. And we have to pray and ask God to lead and guide us. Even if we go the wrong way while we're on the journey, just recenter. That's all you got to do is recenter
Right,
yourself so that you can keep going and doing what it is that you know that your purpose to do. And remember that no matter what you're doing, your ultimate goal is to serve. Even
right.
though, like you said, even you make the money and do the things, but the ultimate goal is to serve and to provide quality,
That's
whatever it is
right.
you're doing, that you're providing quality service and not not mess. We're not out here trying to mess.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time today. Um, Okay, so before we go, someone who shall remain nameless is Facebook stalking, and he saw that you had a night of worship at your studio. Is this something that you hosted, or is this something that someone rented your studio out for? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so God put it on my heart to just have intercession and intercessory prayers. So I invited a few people that I know who are just awesome people in the community and had a night of worship, prayer, and it was everything that I needed and more. And every now and then, God will commission me to do things like that, right? And so we had such a good
Hmm.
time that they're already asking, okay, when's the next one? How can we be involved in it? And plan for that one. So we're going to have another one in July. I think it was about 15 people that showed up. But when I tell you that we had an awesome time, it was just beautiful. So,
That is so totally awesome. You don't need a lot of people. All you need, he said, where two or three are gathered. So
no,
you don't need a whole lot of people.
that's
So
right.
that
That's right.
so that is awesome. That is so awesome. And that is the beautiful thing about having something of your own is that you can do what you want to do in your space when you want to do it. And you don't have to have anybody telling you, well, don't be too loud and you can't do this and you can't do that because it's your space and you can
Exactly.
do whatever you decide to do in it. And that is awesome. That is so totally awesome.
Thank you.
Um, I wanted to have you provide some information before we leave on. Well, hold before I say that. Let me say this: that you are such a blessing to the city of Huntsville. Um, I can see that you're going to do something so totally
Thank you.
tremendous, and that I think that God is
Hmm.
going to bless you with that bigger facility, right? Because it's going to be a blessing for the city. I can see that for you. So that I think it's just
Yeah.
totally wonderful. So I
Thank you
wanted
so
you to
much.
provide some information on where Studio 53 is, uh, your next event that's coming up in July, where you're going to do the training for the event coordination, and
Okay.
anything else that you got coming up. Go ahead and share it.
All right. So the next night of worship will be at Studio 53. I have not announced created a date yet. But if they follow me on Facebook at Tiffany Draper, then they'll see all the things. I post them all day long, every day. So yeah, just follow me on Facebook or Instagram. The next big thing that I have coming up is the save the date for the 5th annual Women's Expo. We'll be dropping that date in July. I'm excited about that. And so the Women's Expo website is www.thewomensexpohsb.com. And then I'm having a rooftop party celebration kickoff it's a fundraiser event for She Can Grow. And that is actually this month, June 23rd. It's an all white rooftop party. It's like a day party. We actually are sold out of tickets, but if people want to continue to donate to help us be able to give back to the community and to help our women in need, they can go to the website at shecangrow.org. And I have a few other events. Just stay tuned. Like I said, the best way to find out about my events is to go to my website, and it is www.tiffanydraper.com.
Awesome sauce. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed talking to you, and we will definitely provide all of the information that you gave, as well as your social media handles in the description so people can follow you and they can donate. I actually saw when you mentioned it, I saw that you were sold out of tickets for the all white party, rooftop party.
Yeah.
So you go, girl. That is really awesome.
Thank you.
But we'll share the information so that people, because I was going to ask you, how can people donate to your nonprofit? So I'll be sure to put all that in the description so folks can donate and all the things. So
thank you so much.
Okay. So thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Can you clap first? Okay, go ahead. Thank you so much for joining. We totally enjoyed you being here today. And just God bless you in all of your endeavors. Totally awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Okay.
You too. So that is our episode for today. We had an awesome guest, Tiffany Draper. We're going to be sure to put all of her social media handles and information about She Can Grow, her nonprofit, the Studio 53 in Huntsville, Alabama, and all the things in the description box so that you can follow and support. All right. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any comments or questions or whatnot, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. Please remember to be kind, okay? Because, you know, it doesn't cost anything. So thank you again for joining. And before we get out of here, we got to pay some bills. Just You Soap Company's mission is to provide enriching handmade natural products with love, creativity, imagination, and originality. They have a skincare brand that will provide nourishment and moisturization. Ditch the commercial brands. You shouldn't have to sacrifice your time, money, and health on mediocre products. No one should. Visit them at justyoursoapcompany.com. Thank you guys again for watching. Have a great day and be blessed.